Yo, what's up guys, it's SlapThigh, and today I'm going to be making a quick guide on the Eclipse raid, the entirety of the Eclipse raid for first, second, and third encounter. I'm going to be doing some voiceovers for my own team's gameplay, and explaining how and what we do for the mechanics. I know I'm a little late to making this video. I was exhausted after doing like 2 to 3 days of raiding, so I am a little late on getting this video out, but I do hope that this helps out anybody who is still trying to get that clear. So starting off with first encounter, you might want to wait at the start to get your ults, just so you're good to go when you load in. When you run in, the first thing you're going to want to do is kill all the ads that are in the middle. So first you have to like wait for Zeb to stop talking. In the middle there'll be some bruisers. Those bruisers really hurt, so you want to make sure you get those down as fast as possible. Then once those middle ads are down, you can head to the left. You should have 3 people on each side, 3 on left, 3 on right. Preferably if you're running Gwens, you're going to want 1 Gwen on each side so that you can break those impact Shinkas. Once the impact Shinka's down, you can start working on the sentry captain and get rid of all the other ads. And then once that server's in, you just nuke it. If you have Borealis, it does pretty much 2-tap. Make sure you get those tracer shanks down, those really hurt. And then for the key people, there's going to be a battery now that you have to carry across the bridge. That gives you a debuff that stacks up to 10. When it stacks up to 10, you will die. So you guys have to trade the battery back and forth on the bridge. And then once you get across, you can put the battery into the door, and that will let you get to the Scorch Vandals so that you can break the batteries on the wall. And you'll notice for the plate people, you will also be getting that debuff. So you have to make sure that whoever you're with on your side, that the both of you trade your spots on the plate once you get up to 10 stacks. And then after plates, make sure you get down these heavy shanks. Those really hurt. Make sure you get all those ads out of the way. Preferably, you're going to want to have your Gwens go second so that you can have the second wave of impact Shankas, get those down. And then when you're getting the second people across, you'll notice that the plates on the opposite side of the bridge are also activated. There's going to be 2 sets of servitors. You're intended, I believe, to use all 4 plates, but you can actually just use 2 sets of plates. You'll see me and Ad on the right here, and then we have Shun and Gidry on the left across the bridge. They'll get on, and we'll get on our plate, and that'll be enough. And then you just trade between the 2 people. So it's me and Ad, and then Gidry and Shun on the opposite side. And you guys just trade back and forth until the batteries are crossed. Just remember that you can't have any more than 10 stacks. So if you get any more than 10 stacks, you will die. So just make sure that you're hopping off around 9 to 10, and you'll be good to go. And then if you're the last set of people, it's pretty straightforward. Just keep yourself alive until the sentry captains come out. Sure, you get the servitors down so they don't protect the captains, and then you get the keys, and then you're good to go. Then on the opposite side of the bridge, the 4 people over there will also do the same thing that you did in the first wave, where you're just going to be trading between 2 people on the plates so that you can get the last set of people across with the battery. Try not to stay too close to the edge of the bridge when you're carrying the battery, or else it could fall off potentially. So make sure you're just not on the very edge of it. Then once you're across, you're going to have to take out both Scorch Vandals. Make sure you get those down because there's 2 fuses that you have to shoot instead of 1. So you want to coordinate who's going to be shooting what fuse. So for instance, I had Ad shoot the middle one, and I shot the one on the right. And then from here, it's business as normal. You take out the heavy shanks and the Shinkas. And once all of those are down, you are clear. So coming into second encounter here, it is a little different. So when you're inserting the codes, there's going to be a sequence and an order to it. So if you'll see on the panel here, there's 2 codes for this one, and you'll see that the small circle is the first one, and then the outer circle is the second one. So when you're inputting those codes, you have to make sure that you do them in the specific order. There is also a timer on it so that if you do not put the codes in within a certain time frame, you will wipe. Also for this encounter, the batteries have the same timer that they did on the first encounter. So you just have to make sure when you get through that gate at the start that you have 2 people that are going to grab the battery off the first set of people. So for instance, I grab it off Ad here and I dunk it. At the start here, you want to make sure you clear out all the ads. There is no timer, so you can take all your time to get all those brigands down before going into the portal rooms. So for the portal rooms, I do not have any footage of it currently because I did not go into the rooms, but basically what you're going to be doing in there, there's going to be a sequence of 4 codes instead. Once you kill your servitor, you're going to see on the back wall 2 codes that are yours, and then the person in the other room will see the 2 codes that are theirs. And essentially what you're going to have to do is enter them in the same order that you see them on the screen. So for instance, if you see 1 is small circle, 2 is blank, and then the 3 is the outer circle, then you have to put in small circle and then the outer circle first, and then on the opposite side, they will your teammate will have their own set of codes that you have to put in as well. And on the outside, it's the same thing that you would normally do on the outside. You make sure you take care of the Shinkas. I would start on the left side and move to the right side, but if you'd like to start on the right side and move to the left, that's perfectly fine as well. I would just say that you make sure you take out the specifically the Tracer Shanks. Those really hurt, and you shouldn't have any Brigands alive from the first, but if there are any Brigands, make sure you try to focus those together. Then once both Shinkas are down, make sure you clear all the ads out so that you're good to go. And then what I would do is I would have one person on each set of panels. So for instance, I take the left ones over here, Ad takes the ones across from me, and then on the opposite side, we have 2 other people looking at the screens. The reason for this is because you have to insert the 4 sequence that the people did on the inside within a small time frame. So the best way to go about it is to look at your screens, see which ones you have on your side, and then count from 1 to 4. So let's say small circle is the first one in the sequence, and I see small circle is on one of my 2 panels. Then what I'm going to want to do is just say 1 is ready, and then I'm going to be listening for 2 is ready, 3 is ready, and 4 is ready. And then once all people are ready, then I can start the sequence by saying 1. Then we have 2 go, then 3, then 4, and then that's it. And then you're pulled inside. Once you're pulled inside, it is business as normal, as it's always been for the second encounter. You're going to want to take down one of the Scorch Vandals. We always like to do it on the right side first, then the left on the second round. Just make sure you get it down fast enough because you might have a short amount of time depending on how long it took to get the code set up. Also to note, for this part, you're going to also need to juggle the battery because there's also the debuff of the 10. So you're going to want to have an order of who's picking up the battery first, second, and third. So for instance, I was picking up third battery here. If you're right before a gate and you have 7 charges on you, you might as well drop the battery beforehand because you're possibly going to die getting everybody through. So just be safe when you're getting through those electricity gates. To note for this encounter, Gwen's shotgun, the raid shotgun, is really good for breaking those Shinkas. If you do a volley straight in the middle of the heavy shank, that should crack every single one of the bubbles surrounding it. So you don't need someone like Wolf. It's also really good for the arc shields, not only on the Scorch Vandals, but also the Shanks or any of the other ads on the outside if you need those. But yeah, just make sure that you're juggling the battery between the 3 of you. Make sure you take out the Scorch Vandal, get those things destroyed, and then you're good to leave. And watch out for the ads on the outside. They do hurt a little bit, so you want to make sure you get those cleared out if you can before your battery person runs through, as long as they have enough time, of course. Then once both batteries are inserted, the heavy shanks will spawn in. You want to make sure you get all of these ads down. Once again, just as it was before in the first part, you do not have a time on this part, so you can take all your time to get all those ads down. Then once both heavy shanks are down and all the ads are clear, the portal people are good to go in. And then from here, it's basically the same as the first part of this encounter. The only difference is that once you take down the servitors, there's going to be a set of overseers. There's going to be one on the left and one on the right. You just have to make sure you get those taken down. But aside from that, this encounter is basically the same as it was in the first part. So just get those servitors down, put in the codes, go in the room, carry the battery through the area, and you're clear. Then moving on to third encounter, arguably the easiest of the 3, in my opinion at least. It's just about the same. There's only a few minor differences. So starting off, you want to make sure you go on the right side, clear all the ads that come out of the door before starting on the Shinka. Those bruisers really do hurt, just like they did in first encounter, so you want to make sure you get those down as fast as possible before getting the Shinkas. And then make sure you get those servitors that come out. Those will shield the Vandals and all that, so you want to make sure you get those down as fast as possible. And then on this part, you'll notice that the boss does 3 slams. So you want to make sure you're on a high up place like where I'm standing, or there's a high place on the opposite side where everybody else is as well. And then the other notable part of this first part here is that there's these blue orbs that you have to pick up to destroy a set of overseers that will spawn. So you cannot destroy the Overseers unless you pick up that buff. So you're going to want to coordinate who picks up the first buff and who picks up the second. The reason for this is because when you pick it up, you'll get a debuff called Oversaturation. And what it basically does is it makes it so you cannot pick up these Scorch Cannons. It also makes you unable to pick up another Overseer buff. So preferably you're going to want to have 2 people picking up the Overseer buffs, one on the left and one on the right. And then you're going to want to have 2 people picking up these Scorch Cannons. On the second set of Overseers, you're going to make sure you have a coordinated team on who's going to be picking up that buff. Those Overseers are a real problem, so the faster you get those down, the better. And then inside the room, again, I don't have any footage on the inside of the room, but it's basically going to be the same thing that you normally do. You're going to be killing the servitor to see which part of the boss that the people on the outside need to shoot. Keep in mind there will also be Overseers in there. You can pick up the buff on the outside and bring it in to destroy the Overseers, but just note that that will take the buff away from the people on the outside for a good, I think, 5 seconds. So only take it if necessary, but that is an option if you want to do that before you hop into the room. And then as you can see, DPS here is the exact same as it normally is. It's preferable, obviously, if you 1-phase it, you can 2-phase it. If you do go for a 2-phase, just note it's pretty much the exact same, except it's going to have just note that it's going to have the leg parts instead of like the claw and all that. But yep, that's pretty much it for the Eclipse raid for first, second, and third encounter. All this footage was streamed at my Twitch at twitch.tv/slapthigh. If you have a Twitch and you haven't followed me over there already, I'd appreciate it if you did. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and good luck on your clears.